स्पॉटलाइट में आपका स्वागत है। मैं हूं आपकी होस्ट अमीता। Join me weekly as I talk to inspiring guests who will share their success stories and transformational events. आज हमारे साथ स्टूडियो में है the director and founder of Young Canadian Alliances, a not-for-profit organization. He's also one of the brainchildren of the Taste of India Food Festival, which was held successfully this year at the Nathan Phillips Square to over 50,000 people in attendance. It's my pleasure to welcome to our show Mr. Vrajesh Shah. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for introducing me.
We are so happy, and hats off to you. It's your first year of this venture, Taste of India Food Festival, and it was held so successfully. But before we get to that, we want to know a little bit more about you. जैसे आपके education के बारे में, आपकी professional experience outside Canada. तो हमें कुछ इनके बारे में बताइए.
All right. So, as I was born and raised in India. And then I did my graduation with Maharaja Sayajirao University in Baroda, in a small town in the state of Gujarat. And then after I moved to do my master's in business systems in IT, because that was booming in 90s, so I was trying to go to Australia, where I did, into Monash University, finished my education there and started working with automation, like bringing up incubators and startup companies to commercialization of the technology products into the market, because they come up with an idea and then they don't know what is the commercialization, how do we make it as a mass available product. So that's all what I did, and events came into me when I was going to the trade shows and everything. I was like, this is something I want to do. Like, I want to develop the companies, but I also want to organize this kind of shows. And that's where we started. The first event we did in Australia was a convention event for the ministers, for a fundraising event. And that's how the whole passion about events came in. So that's pretty much about me as growing up and getting this idea of events. That's how it started.
Amazing. So, आपका Canada आना कैसे हुआ? Like, it sounds like you have gone global and you finally have, lucky for us, settled in Canada. But correct. How did that happen?
So, like, मैंने अपना career शुरू किया Australia से, and then I was events, and a lot of two different things were going on together. Helping the companies with my technology profession, and events was the passion that I had, and food was my biggest passion. Even though I was a technology guy, I was foodie. I was very foodie. I was getting into the food industry. So I traveled to New Zealand for trade shows, and then I settled there for a few months on a project. Then Dubai, Middle East, UK.
Wow.
So traveling. Finally, I had a chance to come to Canada one time in Toronto for a small project in, say, 2007. And I loved the city. I was like, this is something. Even though people told it's cold, why do you want to go? The weather's harsh. But somehow it just made me feel. And then I applied for my permanent residence, which luckily they accepted me as a skilled immigrant. And that's what I came here and I settled here. I never wanted to move out. I have whole my family in California, which is a beautiful state in US, but I still love Canada. I don't know why, but it just clicked me. So that's how I moved here and settled here.
That's awesome. So you got a PR as a skilled immigrant, right? I have to ask, like, you know, a lot of people come here, unki education or profession hoti hai outside Canada, but they struggle. Did you have some challenges when you tried to set up yourself in Canada?
So struggle hoti hai. Koi bhi country mein aap jao, struggle is there. That's your initial investment. I feel it's your investment of time. How you do it in the right way. If you adopt like, you need to know the system. That's what I feel. It's my personal thought. I don't go globally and say everyone should do this.
Yeah.
But what I felt is, if you go and understand the system, the way people work here, and if you follow it, you're gonna go move quickly. When I came in, jab main aaya, to maine dekha ki, like, you need to do volunteering. Volunteering helps you to get the idea about how the system works here. And that's when I started. So I had struggle for 6 to 8 months, yes. And then I went into the flow, and then everything started clicking. So it's a normal routine. Everyone should expect it when you move to a new country, because you're coming just like a new immigrant. You don't know what is the weather, what is the culture, what is people, how people are going to accept you, what is your background. And the biggest thing I took in my life is don't badge on, like, I am an IT professional, I worked in such a big company, I need to go this. I accepted whatever came in my way, and it just moved me up.
Nice.
So that's what I felt.
So positive attitude, let go of the ego and persist.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep.
So now tell us a little bit about this NPO that you have founded, this is the Young Canadian Alliances.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Young Canadian Alliances, the idea was to empower the youth. Because if you look into the stats of Canada, there are more than 30-40% of millennials, which are in the age group of millennials, basically. So what we wanted to do is, we wanted them to empower and come with new ideas. It's not that people above the age, certain age group don't have ideas, they have the experience, but if they nurture the young blood, and then if they guide them, these people, like the millennials, like me and all other, can grow and take the country to a next step, maybe. I don't know. That's what the idea was. So the whole idea of Young Canadian Alliances was to bring all this youth into different parts and help and grow the Canadian culture and everything. Like it's a merger, like it's a multicultural country. So if we have all the brains working together, we can do something better for Canada and globally. That was the idea of having Young Canadian Alliances.
Nice, yeah. So you kind of invest in the future for ourselves, but for the betterment of the whole world as well.
Yeah.
Amazing. So now we want to come to the Taste of India Food Festival that happened so successfully. But before that, it's time for a short break. Spotlight में फिर से आपका स्वागत है. We are talking to one of the brainchildren for the Taste of India Food Festival. So once again, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
First year and so successful, over 50,000 people in attendance. So पहले हमें बताइए, how does this whole concept come into being?
So idea ये था, like we are very foodies. We used to run a restaurant. When I came into Canada, we took a patio on a rent at the Highway 10 in Dundas, which is supposed to be a South Asian community. And I was like, everybody was like, Vrajesh, Canada doesn't work. You're 6 months here. और आप सोच रहे हो कि you are gonna open a restaurant. ये नहीं होगा. It's very hard. It's this. I'm like, you know what? It's my passion. I want to do this. I want to bring a street food of India live on a patio in a summer, and people can enjoy live cooking.
Love it.
So we started that at one of the restaurants called Barbecue Tonight. We took their patio. It was 60 sitting. और हमने शुरू किया. We were cooking live pav bhajis, and it just went so well. Idea was, okay, wait, this is what people love the food, then let's bring it to a mass. Rather than a restaurant where only 50 people can come, let's bring it to the next level and do some big events. So that was the idea 6 years back, which we wanted to do. It took a long time to come to Taste of India, but it finally happened. So that's where the idea came, because we are very foodie. We tried new food. We love Indian food. And my belief is Indian food is healthy. It's in every way, it is a complete diet food. If you eat it right.
Exactly. So everything in moderation and prepared the right way, and it is healthy.
Correct.
Now, I love the fact that when people try to discourage you from going ahead with your vision, you said no, you believed in yourself and you knew you could do it.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. Hats off to you, because that's kind of scary when people try to discourage you from following your vision.
Yeah.
But you're here now, very successful. How did you team up with Flavors of India for this project?
School of Flavors.
School of Flavors, pardon me. School of Flavors. How did that happen?
So School of Flavors is a brainchild company by Vrajesh Shah. And she has been into industry of food, where she has done a lot of food caterings, food shows and everything. So we partnered together. And the idea was to bring Indian food to the level where I have been always seeing from last 4 years, Taste of Italy, Taste of Stanford, Taste of this, Taste of Greece. And I'm like, a lot of Indian event happens. There are food vendors there, but there's nothing like it's Taste of India. Like all the Indian food comes to one platform. People come in, enjoy and celebrate the cuisine. Because if you look, there are 29 states in India. If you go from north to south, east to west, the food can vary every city. There are different kind of cuisines, the different taste, and we wanted to bring everything together. So we accomplished a little bit in bringing everything together this year, but next year we know for sure it's going to happen. Everybody is going to come. All the cuisines will be there, and that's how. So partnering with School of Flavors was, let's get together. They had the idea about cuisines. They had the idea about the restaurants. They knew a bit more than our side. So we partnered together, and that's all the idea is to bring the Indian cuisine to the mainstream.
Amazing. So it's great. It's coming back next year. But tell us a bit about what happened this year. Like, what did the audience get to experience when they came there?
So audience expectation was to have multiple vendors. We did have 22 food vendors, specifically food vendors, exhibiting their different cuisines. So there was a South Indian, North Indian, there was a fusion food, chaats, as you know, everyone loves chaats. So,
yummy.
so people came in, and the expectation was, okay, we thought it would be 10,000 people. So we prepared the vendors that there would be 10 to 15,000 people. So be prepared with 5,000 dishes, because you're going to expect people to come and taste everything. So keep the portions small, keep the prices low, so that they can enjoy multiple portions of your food. That's what did. So it started at 11:30. We were skeptical. It started raining. I was like, everybody was like, "Oh, this is raining." I'm like, "No, it's the blessing showers from God. So it's gonna go well." And in few minutes, I wanted to be positive, and I was positive. So that's what happened. And then when people came in, they started eating the food. The food was very nicely exhibited. By 2:30, all the vendors who brought in, like each of the vendor 3,000-4,000 dishes, they were all done. And I was like, oh my God, this is... So they knew it from an hour before that this is going to end up, looking at the lineups and the amount of people turning to taste the food. And there were multicultural people. There were like all the country people, like there were Chinese, every country was there. And I was so happy that everybody is trying the food. And then they had to run back to the restaurants, and the line came up and again and again. So they were sold out 2 times throughout the day. So that was amazing. People expected to have different cuisines. We did that.
Yeah.
There were some missing points of food where we couldn't have Goan food, but we'll have it next time.
Well, it's always a learning curve, right?
Yep.
You get feedback from one year, and the next year, like you said, you make it even bigger and better.
Sure.
I hear there were also some performances. What was that about?
So basically, we wanted to exhibit the culture of India, right? It was the food is one portion of the culture of India, and we also wanted the dance. There are so many talented young children and young kids and performers here who have been doing. So we started the opening ceremony with the O Canada flute. Flute is traditionally Indian.
Nice.
And O Canada is a Canada national anthem. Yeah. So the artist played on a flute, the O Canada. So there were performances from South, West, East, to keep everyone busy and exhibit the culture of India along with the food. So it was a mix and match of both things.
Amazing. So, I mean, food was the main focus, but it was bringing the whole of India to Toronto so people in Toronto can experience it.
Correct.
Great. So it's coming back bigger and better next year. How can one get involved if they want to be part of this festival? Not just as an audience, if they want to be a vendor, how does that happen?
So there is a website called schoolofflavors.ca. Everyone can go online. There's all contact information. We'll be uploading the next year's plan with the dates once the cities are final. So we are trying to do it at the same Nathan Phillips Square one day. And because of a huge response from the west part of the GTA, where people could not attend it, but they wanted to, like Burlington, Niagara Falls, Hamilton, Kitchener, Waterloo, there were so many Indian restaurants which wanted to participate. So we might be doing 2 weeks, 1 week in downtown, 1 week in Mississauga Celebration Square, but that's all. We're working on the dates, so once it is finalized, it will be uploaded on the websites.
Well, all the best. So it's schoolofflavors.ca, coming back bigger and better next year, Taste of India Food Festival. Amazing.
Thank you.
Well, beyond all this, you do much more. There are more community events that you have been part of. We want to find out more. But before that, it's time for a short break. Welcome back to Spotlight. We are talking to Mr. Vrajesh Shah. So amazing. Taste of India Food Festival is coming back again next year. Let's digress for a bit. You have been part of other community events as well, because as you said, it is kind of your passion to be part of events. So tell us a bit about other projects you've been part of.
Yeah, sure. So when I came into Canada in 2010 and 2011, we went to a lot of dandiya events, the Gujarati folk dance events. And I was like, this should be something like really well planned, very well done. So we organized a show with United Way of Baroda organizes a very huge event which takes about, say, 100,000 people dancing at one rhythm in a ground. Because I was born in that town, I was like, let's bring them here. So we did a dandiya event where it fetched in 10,000 people dancing. And I had Honorable MPP Deepika Damrela there, and she was like, how do these people dance in one rhythm? There's everybody going in one step, 10,000 people right at one place. So we have been part of dandiya events. We've been part of BAPS events where we help them in a lot of ways. So community events, I really love it because that's the whole thing. If you do something today, it's going to bring up with your own kids, and the upcoming youngs would be following that. So we should have that culture and merge it with Canada. So we wanted to bring the cultural community events. So we did a lot of events, yoga events, lots of other things together. So being a part of the different communities which are doing events, we always merge with them, help them out, whatever is needed, wherever it's needed.
That's great. We need community leaders like you. I mean, we get accustomed to the country we settle in. For example, here in Canada, we celebrate Canada, but it's always good to preserve the culture where we come from, especially in Canada when it's so cosmopolitan, so multicultural. So hats off to you. We need more community leaders like you.
Thank you.
So what are other projects other than the Taste of India Food Festival that's coming back next year? What are other projects that we can look forward to under your guidance or execution?
So we are going to do food events, but we are stepping into, we got a response from a lot of other communities which are asking us to do similar kind of events where we might end up doing a taste of Middle East maybe.
Wow, okay.
And it's not that because I'm Indian, I'll only do the Indian events.
Well said.
We will, it's a global world, and it's a country where you have multicultural people. So we're looking into that projects. We're also looking into doing some concerts which brings in the talents from India here in Canada. And then there are so many talented Canadians which also do Indian kind of music, and they are so much involved with the dance culture of India. So we want to merge a fusion of Canadian and Indian culture together. And the idea is to Canadians who are born Canadians will perform on the Indian rhythms, and the Indians will perform on the Canadian rhythms.
Nice.
It would be a fusion shows which we are doing. So there are lots of things in pipeline. As and when it comes, we'll upload it.
Upload it. And again, it's back to School of Flavors. So it's schoolofFlavors.ca for all the different events that'll be upcoming. Now moving on to you as a person, you do a lot for the community, and as a result, the community is getting better. I wanted to ask, for yourself, do you have any time? Time with family, hobbies, things that you do?
I feel you should always have a time for the family, because that's where you get the most of your energy. I believe in that, because if your family is supporting you, and hats off to my wife and my son, I only have one child, 10 years old. He was the key speech. He came into front of the 10,000, 15,000 audience and gave a speech on the culture and the taste of India festival for 3 minutes, which was amazing. So I have made him learn that if you put time and efforts towards your community, it's going to come back to you. And everybody in the family enjoys. So I do have time for my family. I keep it balanced.
Nice.
It's hard sometimes, but they understand and they support me.
But you make an effort, and the family reciprocates, and they are part of every project that you do. So family in itself makes everything successful.
Right.
Wow. It's been great talking to you today about all the events that you do, but also your, I would say, your philosophy as to how you take up things and how you persist, how you stay positive. And thank you for inspiring us today. I would request you to give some words of advice to our viewers who are watching us today who aspire to be a community leader like you someday?
Sure. So my belief is work hard, work with the heart. Don't be calculative, skeptical, thinking before you start anything, just follow your heart, do the right thing with honesty, and Almighty God will help you. And there are people who are there who are going to help you out. It's just the effort that you need to start and follow your heart. That's my words of wisdom to everyone. Just follow your heart, do what is right, and do it in the right way.
Very well said. And once again, for the benefit of our viewers, Taste of India Food Festival is coming back bigger and better next year. So once again, for their benefit, what is the website they can visit to get involved with this, or maybe any of the other events that are in the pipeline, like you said?
So all the events will be on schoolofflavors.ca. There's a Facebook page of School of Flavors. There's a Twitter page. Everything will be uploaded, and everything keeps on rotating on it. So please follow schoolofflavors.ca as a website and School of Flavors Facebook page, and you can get updated with everything in details as the pipeline's getting filled up.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vrajesh Shah, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Amitha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
So that was Mr. Vrajesh Shah, who has inspired us to take up creative projects towards the progress of our own community and the world. Well, that's a wrap for this week's show. Thank you for watching us. Continue to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and write to us at spotlight@ethnicchannels.com. Until next week, this is Amitha signing off, encouraging you to create your own spotlight.